What's good, my bruh boy gamers? And today I'm going to be doing a Brawlhalla Legend tier list. Now, this isn't actually going to be really based on how good the character is. It's more going to be based on, well, it is going to be based on how good the character is, but also how fun they are to play or to go against, and also just kind of more personal. Like, do I enjoy playing them? Do I hate fighting them? Stuff like that. So this doing a list of Brawlhalla Legends in terms of like that is probably going to be very subjective. I wouldn't be surprised, but we're just going to start off alphabetically with Ada. I think Ada playing as it can be it can actually be pretty funny if you six spam it, because for some reason her hitboxes are incredibly stupid and they last forever. So it can be kind of funny to get really dumb hits on her, where otherwise you wouldn't on other characters. But going against her is exactly the opposite. It's horrible. It's like torture. So I'm going to put her in the mediocre area. And also, she is pretty good right now in the meta, I think. I think she's actually underused. But blasters are actually pretty strong still. Spear, it's actually gotten buffed. The sidelight is actually better. So you're going to get that combo starter off more, which is very good. Arcadia, the newest legend, I actually thoroughly enjoy playing Arcadia, and I actually most of the time enjoy going against them. The only time I feel like I'm like helpless going against an Arcadia is when they're incredibly cracked at the game, and that's happened to me like twice, where I just hated every second of fighting her. And I do actually think she is actually underrated. I do think she is underrated. Her spear sigs are insane. They have crazy hitboxes and they're hard to punish. The trap sigs are actually really good, in my opinion. I actually like them more than Yumiko's. I think they're better. Not really. They're less of traps, actually. They're more of like combos you can kind of like move. It's like a move you can just kind of throw out, and you're not gonna get punished for it really. And if you hit it, well, I mean, that's like 30 something free damage and a potential knockout at higher damage levels. So I'm actually going to say pretty cracked on Arcadia. Artemis, Scythe Lance is actually pretty freaking good in the meta right now, except Lance isn't looking the best it has before, and neither has Scythe. That's right now it's pretty much Axe. But the Sigs are actually pretty good. The Lance ones are all of the sigs are kind of hit or miss. Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah, hit or miss. I think the Scythe end sig and the side sig are probably the better ones. The D sig, you can get some really stupid hits because it goes down super far off stage and it lasts a long time. It's very active. Lance, the D sig is also a pretty hard miss unless you're edge guarding. And the Lance end sig, it's hard to hit, but if you do, it's probably going to be a knockout in the orangish levels on most maps, unless the map is like a horrendously awful kill box. So I'm going to say mediocre on that one. Surrey, the dunk. I mean, it's just the dunk. I don't think I need to say anything else. The dunk. It's just the dunking king. Or the queen, whatever. Azoth. His hitboxes last a century. They last longer than Onyx has been alive. They're just like the lifespan of frickin' Magyar type levels. His bow side sig lasts a damn hour. You could play 4 Brawlhalla matches and the hitbox is still probably active. Also, he has Axe, and Axe is stupid right now. Bow is also one of my least favorite weapons to go against. He's fun to play, though, so I will say he is, well, I mean, he's obviously pretty cracked. I'm going to put him at the top of pretty cracked. Barraza, I think he's underrated, actually. I think more people need to pick Barraza and learn his SIGs, because, God, if someone knows how to use his SIGs, Barraza is fucking lethal to go against. It's disgraceful how you can get bullied by Barrazas if they know what the hell they're doing. So yeah, Brawlhalla's I'm gonna say probably top of mediocre on this one. Bodvar, never really liked fighting him that much. But playing him can be fun. I don't know. He feels a bit like slow to me. I don't know why. His SIGs have crazy amounts of startup, and I don't know. I just don't like that type of. It's like I just don't like that type of thing. I just like really like faster SIGs because those are more of a mix-up. You can kind of throw them out when you want to be a bit weird on your approach. But Bodvar, it's like bro has a million startup frames, and I'm gonna put him like middle of mediocre. Both his weapons are Hammer is pretty cracked in the meta right now, so I would say if Hammer wasn't really cracked, he'd probably be bottom of mediocre. But I think he's gonna go mid of it. Actually, Artemis might be a bit above him and like high. I think these three are actually high mediocre like this. Okay, Brynn, Axe, Spear with the buffs. Her SIGs, some slow startup frames like Bodvar on most of his SIGs, but Brynn it's only like Spear side SIG and D SIG. That's like it. That's all I can think of that has crazy startup. So but her SIGs are not like very far range outside of Spear side SIG, and they also cover a really narrow path except for like Axe and SIG. And the D SIG on Axe is kinda trash hitbox wise, so I'm actually gonna put in like more of the bottom mediocre. Caspian, he's actually pretty cracked when you learn him. His Gauntlet SIGs can be hard reversals. His Gauntlet side SIG kills probably on like light orange if you get a reversal off the edge on small brawl, and that's kind of dumb. His Guitar SIGs also have a lot of force. He has two not just build up damage weapons, and then his SIGs do all the killing for you. That's pretty good. Cassidy, I mean, I hate fighting her, but she's literally D-Light N-Sig, true on Hammer. You dead ass. Like, what the hell? What is that? So I don't even need to say anything else. That's stupid. Cross, I don't actually get pretty bored after playing him. I don't know if it might just be me, but his SIGs are really basic to me. I don't know. I just like SIGs that have some, like any kit that has like some uniqueness to it. I think the SIG I like the most is probably his Gauntlet one. His Gauntlet side SIG. The D SIG is also good on gaunts, but all the other SIGs I just don't like using them. They feel awkward. His Blaster side SIG, it's like slow as hell. Bro leaps and like 0G. Same with the Gauntlet end SIG. So I don't enjoy playing him too much. Fighting him can be pretty interesting from time to time, but fighting him multiple times in a row can get kind of friggin' frustrating. Looking brow right there for me. Diana is probably the best bow legend in the game right now. I'm trying to think of any other bow legend. I just can't. I mean, Diana is insane right now. Pretty cracked just for that. She's also fun to play because her SIGs are really stupid at just reversing off stage. And Blaster's bow equals mega range, so that's pretty funny as well. Not to go against, but Dusk, I actually don't think he's horrible outside of his Spear D-Sig. That thing is actually horrendous. BMG, please change it to make it like crosses, because holy shit, it's useless. When the hell are you going to use it? What, Edgeguard? With a like 1 second cooldown on it? Like, what the hell? And the stun on it is stupid if you miss it. It's like, he's gonna be my first pretty bad. They need to buff him hard. It's not even like he's fun to play for me. Going against him, it feels like I'm bullying him most of the time because it's often just people trying them out are bored out of their minds with other legends. Or they're Dusk mains. But, I mean, haven't seen that in a few months, so yeah, they need to buff this guy. Ember is what you thought I would do. Yeah, I don't hate her anymore. I don't hate her anymore. It's actually fine. Well, no, you'll find out who I hate later on in the video now. It's actually changed up a bit. I'm fine with Ember now. Well, not totally, because she has bow, and her bow sigs are kind of crazy. And I don't like fighting bow, but she's actually not terrible. Her guitars are kind of nasty. They're kind of nasty. And I play guitars a decent amount. So I'm going to put her middle mediocre. Fate, it's going to be either the bottom of pretty cracked, probably her orb sigs are kind of nasty. Yeah, her orb sigs are actually pretty freaking cracked. Her orb sigs are really dumb. Her end sig, it's crazy fast, has a lot of force, does a lot of damage, has an actual big hitbox. The side sig, a lot of force. You can active input it down into a dare combo. The D sig, you also have active input on it. I mean, it's pretty. She's really good in twos combos. She's just all around really good. Nash, I don't fight him, dude. Does this guy even exist? Like, I don't even know if Nash exists. But, I mean, in general, his sigs, they're slow, but they deal a ton of damage. It's like similar to Bodvar, but spear instead of sword. That's quite literally it. So I'm going to put him in between the low mediocre. Katori, one of the best spear legends in the game still, I think. Arcadia's probably got her beat some. Her D-Sig is hilarious to use on spear, though. Her D-Sig on spear is actually cracked out of its mind. And then mix-ups with sword on the N-Sig is really dumb. All the other Sigs are invalid. Other than those two. Maybe a spear N-Sig slightly valid. All the other ones, they suck. I don't care about them. But yeah, those Sigs are good enough to put her up there. Isaiah, right now, he's pretty shit. But he's actually fun to play. And to go against, he's also fun. Except going against a really good Blasters player, as we all know, can be fucking horrendous. Because they just zone you out and you can't do too much. Or at least you feel like you can't. I mean, you probably just play more aerial bozo, but yeah, it's just hard to approach a really good Blasters player. Isaiah has 60 buffs, like almost all of them. His blaster ones are pretty terrible, except for his side sig. Unless if you hit it, it kills early as hell. Cannon and sig, that's it. It's the only two slightly valid sigs on his kit. Jaehyun, he's insane. He is top of godlike. Or not top of godlike, top of pretty cracked. We don't have a godlike legend yet. His greatsword sig's insane. They kill crazy early. His sword sigs, they kill crazy early, and they're also pretty easy to hit with the sword side sig. Yeah, this guy's his stats are kind of cracked. I'm not really looking at stats that much. I don't really care that much about stats. I just roll whatever I want to, unless it's like horrible to play, like 2 speed. No, I actually do play that, because if you put Dex on her, it actually makes sidelight D-light on Qatar. It's true. And that forces you on a 2 speed. Yay! We all love Queen Eye. So yeah, Jaehyun is insane. He's definitely pretty cracked. Jala, probably, honestly, the same things I would say about Ada and Cross. Like, the exact same things, actually. Like a really heavy mix between the two. So, I mean, pretty mediocre. I mean, she is Axe. That's definitely one thing. That's definitely one thing. So, yeah, so she's probably going to go, like, I mean, in between Cross and Ada, I was just talking about. She is very similar to both of them, except with different weapons. Zero, he's actually underrated. I'll be honest. He's still not pretty cracked or godlike, but he's actually pretty underrated. It's like just like Braza. He's pretty much the Braza of Scythe. He's actually underrated. Kaya, I hate fighting her. I don't like playing her. She's not very good right now. Is she below or above Dusk is the question. I'd still say she's above Dusk, because who the hell plays this guy, dude? I wish one day he would suddenly shoot all the way up here. That's just not going to happen, though. Koji, similar, actually, very similar story to Bryn. His hitboxes are really freaking specific, but if you hit it, I mean, your enemy hates their life. That's what happens. They just suddenly just want to quit the game. The DCs, they're spamming the DC button. That's all I gotta say. People just, I mean, that in that fat sword teleport, you just come back to stage, and they never expect it. Like, they're just trying to edge guard you, and then you suddenly just GC it, and they're like, where the hell did bro go? So yeah, he's actually pretty good. Core, he's actually pretty cracked. I don't think he's crazy cracked compared to like Hattori or Asuri, but his gauntlet side stick for some reason has like a really fucking stupid amount of like strength on it. It's like kills on like light orange on small brawl on most legends. It's so dumb. Like, yeah, his gauntlet sigs, they all are pretty good. His hammer sigs, they're all pretty good except probably the D sig. But the D sig, you can get some really cheesy hits and people hate you when you do. Lin Fei, goddamn, can y'all just buff these legends, like all 4 of them? Maybe less of Kaya. I think she would be mediocre if I didn't hate fighting her so much. But yeah, please buff them. Lin Fei is so bad. Lin Fei is laughably horrible. Honestly, I might move Lin Fei and Dust down to Very Dog. Cause it just because of how terrible they are. Not even cause like this they're just so bad that I can't even talk about how much fun they are to play. Cause they're just terrible. They suck. Honestly, I'm going to, cause Very Dog needs some love. It's just these are laughably bad legends, and these are probably the only 2 that are going to go in there unless I'm looking at this list, and I'm just, yeah, these are the laughably terrible characters in the game right now, in my opinion. They need buffs desperately. Lord Vrax, his stats kind of, so what the hell just happened? Okay, yeah, let's do, there you go. Don't know what that was. His stats are pretty Stats actually kind of suck, I'm gonna be honest. On Lance and Blasters, bro has incredibly high dex. But his SIGs are pretty good. SIGs are pretty good. And I had a whole montage on him, so that's probably why he's probably why he's actually up here. He'd probably be a top of mediocre. But I actually do have fun playing him. Because, I mean, his mix-up game is kind of stupid. His edgeguard game is also really stupid, so he's just stupid, even though he has a massive forehead. Actually, it's not even it's a freaking backhead. He's a massive backhead. Lucian, he is, like, the definition of mediocre. Holy shit, this guy is the definition of mediocre. Lucian is SIGs. If you're cracked with Lucian, you're going to shit on people and they're going to hate you. They're going to call him broken, the most busted legend in the game. But his guitar sig's insane. His blaster sigs suck ass. They're terrible. They're so bad. His blaster sigs are you can laugh at them. Like, you can be in the game and you could just do the maniacal laugh emote. And he's still going to miss you if he walks up to you and does a blaster sig. They're just terrible. They suck. Magyar, pretty cracked. I actually think he's better than most people think. His hammer sigs, you can do some really stupid movement tech with his hammer side sig. Like, you can, on platforms, you can just shimmy off of them in like a really freaking weird pattern, and you just decelerate, and then you just suddenly accelerate like freaking crazy fast, so you can actually catch. I've caught a lot of people off guard on maps like Twilight Grove with the platforms on this guy's hammer. His great sword sigs, they're quite cheese. They are very cheese. They're actually hilarious. They kill early as hell for no reason. Mako, pretty much the exact same story, except I do actually enjoy playing Magyar more. Her guitar sigs, I mean, she's got a dunk. It's just not as good. She has 2 dunks, but neither of them are as good. I mean, the greatsword one is pretty much exactly like the guitar one, but not gonna set them up for the frickin' Ensig. It's just edgeguard. You're not gonna be able to set them up in a combo for that unless they jump out of it and you read the hell out of it. But other than that, you're not gonna really get that sig in a combo. Mirage, she's kind of insane for a Scythe Legend right now. Yeah, her Scythe sigs, they hit hard as hell. She has 2 stacked sigs, the Spear and Scythe D-sig. Her Spear sigs hit also hard as hell. I mean, she's just really good. She's very, very good. In 2, she's also great because she has, I mean, Spear Scythe, that's 2 amazing 2s weapons. Mordex, I mean, just, what the hell? I mean, his sigs are crazy. His weapons, they're just syncing with each other super well. Even though they're both build-up weapons, they both are the gods of 0 to death. If you are off stage against Mordex, you don't want to, actually. You want to go back on stage, get away from him. You might as well file a restraining order against him as long as he's off stage. Yeah, he's really dumb to go against off stage. He has a reversal sig on Scythe. It's a backup. It's an active input. His Scythe end sig kills early. It has a good hitbox. Almost hits grounded. His Scythe side sig goes incredibly far. You can mix it up in mid combos. Gauntlet D sig kills early. Gauntlet side sig kills early. Gauntlet end sig, it kind of sucks, but it actually has a lot of force, and the charge, it's unexpectedly goes down into the ground. Yeah, his whole kit is insane. Munen's kit is similar, but worse. And she has bow instead of gauntlets, which are worse weapons in sync with Scythe, in my opinion. Her sigs are harder to... It's like Mordex, but harder to hit. Scythe side sig, it's just Mordex's Scythe side sig, but you move forward with it. Scythe end sig, it's the exact same, except the hitbox is a bit higher. Scythe D-sig, it's actually pretty stupid at reversing people. Like, they can, like a gauntlet, like, for example, you're trying to come back up from off stage, you're, like, down below, you jump, like, out, and then while someone just, like, gauntlet ground pounding, and then you just GC a D-sig, and they just get hit by it, and they get sent into fucking oblivion. So, yeah, that sig is pretty good. Bow D-sig ass. Please buff the hitbox. Bow side sig is insane. Bow end sig is like a mediocre level sigs. It's pretty much Jala sword end sig. Nyx. I hate fighting Nyx's blasters. I hate it so much because of the end sig. The end sig kills so early. It's crazy. It's so dumb. Nyx blaster end sig kills so early, and it actually comes out pretty fast. It's crazy. It's a hard reverse. Pretty much a dunk. It's pretty much a Surrey dunk on blasters, except straight up. It's just more like Mako, but kills earlier. Yeah, and then the scythe sigs, they all have a lot of force. The side sig, you can literally use it to recover back to stage. Yeah, she's insane. Onyx, guys are probably going to be surprised by this one, but I actually think Onyx is a godlike legend. Cannon sigs are insane except for D-sig. And you can still get some really, really dumb hits with D-sig because of the charge time, it being way longer than a normal sig. So people tend to just walk into it when they see like the little shining light. They think that's like, you're like about to explode. and you're not, you're like half a second away from exploding. So yeah, that sig can cheese people. You can also just slide charge it to bomb off stage. Just dive bomb people. The side sig kills early. The end sig kills early. They both combo into the basic sidelight Sarah recovery, or Sarah recovery in general, string on cannon. The gauntlet sig, the side sig is literally just Bryn sig, but 10 times better. The D sig kills early. It's pretty much Mordex. The end sig, it hits. It's really unexpectedly fast. It kills early as well. It has a lot of force. Onyx is insane. I'll be honest. Y'all need to play Onyx more. Marion, he's pretty cracked. He's pretty good. Spear sigs, his spear sigs are actually horrible to go against. The Ensig, bro dives like his like the length he dives down off stage if he GCs it or does it on edge. It's crazy. He goes like half the small brawl wall down. It's pretty stupid. He leaps up like a jump height, and then he just crashes down a jump and a half down off stage. And it sends you, like, it spikes hard. It's like Terosax Sensig, but on just actually every drug imaginable. The Lance has some really cheese combos off of just Sidelight with this SIGs. You can just do Sidelight N-Sig or Sidelight D-Sig, and it works. You can do Sidelight Side-Sig if you want to read an out dodge as well, but who the hell dodges out against Lance? I'll be shocked if any of you say you do. So yeah, that's a Ryan for me. Petra, honestly, we're getting close here. I think probably really high on pretty cracked. Petra is insane. Her Gauntlet Ensig, fast, kills early, damage. Gauntlet D-Sig, it's a teleport, reversal, does damage. Gauntlet Side Sig, it's active input, good in twos, it's a lot of damage. It's a bit harder to hit, but the force is pretty good. Orb, the Side Sig, it's a projectile. All projectile Sigs are normally pretty decent. The end sig on Orb is actually the worst thing to go against in the game. It's like Azoth both side sig type hitbox beat. You know what I'm talking about? How it just lasts a fucking century. The active frames are stupid. Like that type of thing. Where you can just you just think it's over, but then she sends out one more of those really stupid fucking blasts, and then that one hits you because the hitbox on each blast is actually pretty freaking huge. Like one blast, if she even did like 3 blasts, just like covering the whole area her thing does, it still would be a really good sig. Just 3 instant blasts. Yeah, her whole kit is insane. Queen Nai, yeah, she's pretty cracked as well. She is literally, it's like spear on blasters type. It's like the blasters type beat spear. She's literally ranging you. She's outranging blasters with spear. That's not okay. And her guitar sig, her end sig kills crazy early, and you can just sidelight D-light, and then just GC it, and it catches a lot of dodges. Catches a spot dodge. It catches an up dodge. It catches an up right. It catches up left because it's so stupid. It catches so many things, and it kills on like light orange on Brawlhaven. It's really her sigs are kind of cracked. Ragnar, he's actually godlike. He's insane. Y'all need to play Onyx and Ragnar more. He has an Asuri dunk on his guitar, except it just the hitbox lasts a bit longer, and you don't straight up just leap and potentially SD yourself with it. His guitar D-Sig, it spikes. Now the guitar D-Sig is definitely one of the worst ones. I think the worst sig on his kit, other than maybe the Axe D-Sig. The Axe D-Sig is kind of insane on it. On edge, the Axe D-Sig, you can just... People actually don't think it lasts as long as it does in reality. It's actually like... People think it's like a 1.5 second. It's like more like 2. So you can actually get people with like the end of it because they think it's over, and it's not. The Axe side sig. What the? Who the hell was smoking when they made a Ragnar Axe side sig? What his hitbox, the hitbox, like, we know what I'm talking about. If y'all fought a Ragnar, bro's like the hitbox on that sig is super dumb. Like, you could be like nowhere near it, and in between Ragnar and the axe where it lands, and you're gonna get hit, even though there's nothing touching you. It's just you're like in between Ragnar and his axe slam, and you're gonna get hit by the axe slam. It's crazy. That sig is stupid. And then you do it off stage, and it's instead a huge slash down that spikes. It's crazy. Ragnar is insane. And then Qatar side sig kills crazy early. And the axe end sig, it literally covers every possible point above you. Ragnar is crazy. Rayman, he's pretty cracked. Most of these legends are at the bottom are actually pretty cracked. It's like the legends get better as we alphabetically just rise. His D-Sigs, Spike, they're good off stage. His Axe one, not even going to talk about it, comes out in probably like 0.1 second. I'm not even going to calculate the reality on that one. I'm just making a hard assumption. I might be correct on that one. His Axe side sig and the Axe end sig, they kill, they do damage, they hit in places that Axe normally wouldn't be able to really kill or hit at. Gauntlet, end sig, and side sig, they're kind of troll, but if someone someone can get railed by them. Like, you can do mega mix-ups just with the side sig and end sig doing those repeatedly alone. You can just do side sig, and then suddenly end sig, and they just jump above it, expecting a side sig when they hear that winding up the fist, because it sounds the exact same. So they just jump above you, and then they get fucking spiked up into the sky. And then you can just do it again. You hit one end sig, and then you can just like start sliding it all over the place and just continuously trying to hit it. Yeah, he's pretty insane. His kit goes very well with his weapons. Reno, y'all need to actually try this guy more. I swear, he's on Diana type level. His orb sigs are insane. His end sig is a crazy hitbox. Sometimes the visuals are actually pretty shit compared to the reality, though. The hitbox is actually bigger in reality, but it lasts a lot. It's pretty much an instant hitbox rather than what the visuals represent. Both the side sigs are very far traveling and they have good force. The orb D sig, it's like a literal laser beam. I mean, I don't need to say anything else about it. It's actually, you catch someone, you spike the fuck out of them, and you can just GC it when you're coming back to stage, because you leap forward and then back down like a fucking arc. So if someone's trying to go down with like scythe or gauntlets or like lance or something, they try to like dare or ground pound, you just rider cancel that sig, suddenly they just are, you jump over their attack and then they're just getting sent into the fucking kill box. It's kind of nuts. And you can do a dare off of it. Yes, that sig is actually pretty good. Yeah, and then his end sig on blasters is also cracked out of its mind. Scarlet, this one's probably like, I don't know if she's better or worse than Lord Rex right now. Since she has hammer, I'm gonna say probably better. Hammer right now is pretty cracked. Scarlet, D-Sig on hammer kills early, has a lot of damage. It's a reversal. Scarlet side sig, it's on that, the hammer side sig, it's on Ragnar energy. It's got that Ragnar energy, but it's worse. The hammer end sig is pretty insane, actually. But the issues that don't put her in the top of pretty cracked come with the lance. The end sig is slow, the hitbox is janky. D-Sig is the only really good one on the lance, and it's pretty much your side sig, but you don't move with it. So yeah, that's the lance kit is pretty ass on her. Sentinel, buff him please. I mean he has hammer. That's the redeeming quality on him. His guitar sig, his N sig is grounded. I guess his D sig spikes on guitars. It's like, oh, this is like it. This is all I can say. I guess his hammer N sig does way too much damage, and his grounded. Like, he's barely outside of mediocre. If they gave him, like, one decent buff, or gave either of his weapons a buff, he'd probably just immediately go to bottom of mediocre, but he's pretty bad right now. Sidra, I'm going to go there with her. Her cannon is actually, I mean, having 2 active hitboxes at once is insane. You just do your N-Sig and then N-Light, and then you have 2 hitboxes at the same time, and they just cover completely two completely different areas. It's like having a third person if you're playing 2s, or just having a 2's teammate in 1's. Other than that, cannon sigs are ass, other than the N-Sig. The D-Sig on sword can actually catch people off guard, and it spikes hard as hell. The sword N-Sig, it hits grounded. Sword side sig's out. It's long. I think that's like it. Roland, similar but worse. Roland's lance, I guess he goes far with it. Cool. His lance D-Sig might as well be his side sig. I'm gonna be honest. His side sig is pretty terrible. His N-Sig on lance is stupid though. Its hitbox is crazy. Sword D-Sig, it's actually not terrible. His sword D-Sig is actually the exact same situation as his lance. It might as well be his side sig, because his side sig is pretty bad. His sword N sig, I mean, it's sword N sig, so pretty good on him. Taros. The 2 best weapons in the game currently, and his sigs hit like a fucking bull. No wonder he's a Minotaur, dude. Jesus, I mean, his axe N-Sig, I mean, he kills you on, like, light yellow with it. Not on ledge, but, like, if he just GCs it and you're going down to try to get him, which you obviously shouldn't do because it's fucking Taros, you're going to die on light yellow. It's kind of insane. His axe D-Sig, it's like Onyx's cannon D-Sig, but better. His axe side sig is pretty much Ragnar's guitar side sig. His hammer D-Sig, it's the exact same thing as his axe D-Sig, but more people get caught off by it because it's a double swing. His hammer side sig, it's crazy force, crazy damage. To hitbox is actually pretty good. The hammer N-Sig, it's but it team combos with Barraza axe incredibly well. So, I mean, and it's a reversal, and it spikes. Yeah, Taros. That's all I gotta say to that one. Thatch, mediocre. I mean, his blaster D-Sig, it's only good. His blaster D-Sig, it might as well be his N-Sig. What the hell is his N-Sig? I mean, that is not an N-Sig. Bro just shoots, it's just his side sig, but hits twice. And even then, the side sig's just better on blasters. Sword, the side sig's insane, actually. Sword, the N-Sig's insane, actually. Sword, the D-Sig sucks. Unless they're behind you and they just don't know that it hits behind you, and they just suddenly get caught off guard, and they're like, what the fuck is that hitbox? Yeah, then it's good. That's pretty much the only time that's good. Thor. Good old Thor. He's actually needs buffs. I don't know if he's pretty bad or bottom mediocre. I think some of his sigs are redeeming. Hammer D-Sig, I mean, the angle it hits at is really weird, so I guess, sure, it works sometimes. Orb D-Sig, similar situation, except it's actually probably better. I think the Orb D-Sig is better, because you can come back to stage with it and stuff, and you can do it like mid-combo, more easy. The N-Sigs on both weapons are okay. The side sigs on both weapons are also okay. It's his whole kit is pretty much revolving around his Orb, N-Sig, and D-Sig. That's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say about him. Ogrim. Not gonna lie, Ogrim is pretty cracked. Put him there. His axe sigs, axe N-Sig, grounded. Axe D-Sig, pretty much Taros but faster. Axe side sig, Who really cares about that one? Lance Sidesig, who cares about that one? Lance D-Sig, crazy edgeguard. Lance N-Sig, who cares? Like, I mean, 3 of his Sigs you don't care about. You're playing him for the D-Sigs and his Axe N-Sig. That's pretty much it. Val is actually really fucking annoying to fight. I hate it. I hate fighting Val. The Sigs do crazy damage and have good force for how low her damage is. The Gauntlet N-Sig, I mean, it's a 2-part Sig with a dive. It's a launch and a dive. It's kind of crazy. The Gauntlet Side Sig, it has a ton of force, does damage. It's a straight up push forward. Yeah. Val. Val is pretty good. Vector. Godlike. Nah, I'm playing. He needs buffs. I love playing him, though. He's so much fun to play. He needs buffs, though. Lance D-Sig. Please just make it Moon and Bow Side Sig. Just his Lance D-Sig. That would be so much better. That would just be a million times better if he just, instead of backing up and then shooting forward, if he just immediately shot up and started firing. That'd be so much better if instead of going like that, like having to do this whole backup animation and then start firing to make it super obvious and very avoidable, he just went like straight up curved and then went like that. That'd be so much better. Like if it was faster startup and it hit further out, that'd be amazing. That'd be like that one buff would probably put him like if that one change to the Sig would probably put him around here. But yeah, right now, sucks. He's bad. He's terrible. Volkov. Probably the second best Scythe character in the game right now, I would say. He's underrated. His dex is the only thing that is kind of shit. And even then you can just put attack on. And that's actually, suddenly the stats actually become good. His Scythe Sigs kill crazy early. Has good edge guard with the Scythe as well. Which is, Scythe normally doesn't have good edge guard. The Axe, he has Axe, first of all. The D-Sig kills crazy early. It is slow and hard to hit, but if you hit it, they're prepared to see them die on, like, dark yellow, on Small Brawl, on the ledge. Yeah, it's kind of, that Sig is pretty freaking cracked. The Axe Side Sig, 0 recovery frames. You cannot punish it. Unless they do the instant version, then you can probably punish it, but if they don't do the instant version and they miss, who cares? It's a minor inconvenience at best. The Axe N-Sig also has good damage, decent force. Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty cracked. Wushong, pretty much the exact same thing. His Sigs, crazy damage. Crazy damage, crazy force on his Gauntlet Sigs, all of them. His D-Sig is a 2-part Void. It's a freaking Void Sig. That's good. That's pretty much all I have to say about that one. I'm good enough on its own. Spear, that D6 spikes hard as hell. It's very hard to punish if you're below it. Spear N-Sig, it catches actually like 80% of the dodges after a Sidelight D-Light combo. Like 80% of the potential dodges they could do, you can just throw it at GC N-Sig and it will hit. They could dodge just like down in, so pretty much so they're stacked with you, and it still fucking hits. I hate going against it. It's like I try to mix up my dodges, and then bro just does the most stupid shit. It just hits me in every dodge. I hate fighting him. Zol. No, not godlike, but actually is he even pretty cracked? I guess he kills really early. Kills very early. His cannon Sigs, they kill early. They cover a good range. His cannon N-Sig, and he has 2 edgeguard Sigs that can also be used in combos, with the cannon N-Sig being used in combos and edgeguard, and then the D-Sig. Honestly, the D-Sig is kind of invalid on cannon because of the N-Sig. Axe N-Sig kind of sucks. Not that much. It's more like a grounded axe recovery. Who cares? Axe Side Sig, crazy force. Literally kills on light orange on the stage of Small Brawl on a good amount of the characters. It's kind of dumb. His Axe D-Sig is insane as well on Edgeguard. Yeah, he's kind of correct. Yumiko, edging the top of mediocre. I think she's the top of mediocre. Her hammer D-Sig, I mean, or her bow D-Sig, let's start off with that, is pretty terrible for a trap sig. It doesn't really set up into anything but dare and Sair. That's it. That's all it sets up into. And then you have, and even then you have to like jump into it. It's not like you can do it instantly, so they can kind of dodge out of it. I can dodge out of it. I mean it's okay for Edgeguard, sure. Who cares? I don't care about that. I mean, the true combos is what the trap sigs are mainly for with like Arcadia, and that's really good for kill confirms. It's pretty much like Blaster D-Light recovery on D-Sig recovery on. It's D-Sig recovery on Arcadia Greatsword. It just invalidates most of Yumiko's trap sigs because it's so good. It's pretty much D-Light recovery, but on Greatsword. D-Light recovery of blasters, just put on Greatsword. Yumiko, her hammer end sig's cracked, but her side sig sucks. Bow side sig, it's decent. Bow end sig, it's decent. And finally, no. That's it. Thank you for watching.